recording? Yeah, I'm recording. So, all right, guys. Hello, everyone. This is IT Made Simple, and today we're gonna do our first video for the series of SQL for Beginners series, right? SQL is the kind of coding language that is used to retrieve data from the database, right? So keep in mind that this series right here and whatever I'm gonna talk about in this series right here is for absolute beginners, all right? And everything will be simplified as much as possible, so there is no much complicated details. All right, so the headlines or the things that I'm gonna be talking about in this video right here is first of all DML commands, right? So here DML commands, and we have multiple commands for DML, which is select, insert, update, and delete. All right, so there's multiple commands, but for the sake of this video I'm not going to be talking about insert and update and delete. These three right here I'm going to be talking about. I'm going to talk about it in future videos anyways. So today we're going to focus about what select, and select right here, it is used to display data from the database, right? And we have to understand what is the database and what the database contains, so then we can understand why we're gonna use the select command. So the database, which it has all the kind of information that we need. In this database there is multiple tables, all right? So let me give a very quick example right here. Let's say that I have a database, let's say it's called my database, right? And in this database there is multiple tables, and let's say the first table here it's students, all right? So there is a table called students. Why I'm saying that it's a table? Because it contains of columns and rows about the information that I need to do here. So if you want to think about information related to students, you're gonna think about their attributes, all right? What are the students have exactly in either in school or in a university? They have, first of all, a student ID, so student ID, and also they have a name, and let's say a name, and then they have, for example, age, or let's say gender, something like that. Then they have, for example, CGPA, which is basically their cumulative performance within the semester, whatever. So these are the attributes of information that each student has, all right? So student ID here will play as a primary key. So here, right here, the student ID is a primary key. What do I mean by a primary key? Because this is the kind of information that people will be able to differentiate between one student and another, because they're not gonna differentiate between you guys using the name. Because, for example, let's say there is a student called John, right? Probably there is multiple students in the same university called John, so you cannot differentiate between one John and another. So here the student ID is used to differentiate between people. Same thing like the passport ID or the passport number, something that it's unique, that only belongs to you, right? So here this called what? Primary key. So let's say, for the sake of an example, let's say we have this kind of ID. Let's say here we have John, let's say gender male, and let's say his CGPA, let's say, is 3.65. So as you can see the table structure here. We have columns right here, and we have rows, okay? So the columns right here are student ID, name, gender, and CGPA, and the rows are the information related to these columns, all right? So the attributes will, the attributes for the student is the columns, and then the row here represents the information, right? And that's why it is in a table format. So we understand that you have a database that, for example, has tables. Let's say here students, let's say instructors. Then here you have, for example, directors, okay? And each table has similar kind of structure and similar and different attributes and represented by different kind of information, all right? So basically, we're gonna use the select statement in order to display data from the database, all right? So this website that I'm using right here is called what? It's called livesql.oracle.com. When you use this this website right here, you can create an email and you can use this worksheet. So let me show you here. When you say Oracle Live, right? So you can see here Oracle Live SQL. You click on it. Then here it says, let me do the whole registration again. So here you can see start coding. Then it will ask you to enter your email and password, and I already have an account, so that's why it took me directly to the SQL worksheet. Anyways, guys, so now what we're gonna talk about, select. So here, why I'm recommending the Live SQL, because when you click on find right here, you're gonna try to find how many tables we have within this software. So here you can see here the schema. Here is the multiple databases, all right? So each one of those are a separate database. So let me for example click on academic, which is AD, right? So inside the database academic, we have what? We have multiple tables right here. AD academic session, AD departments, AD exam type, AD faculty details, AD jobs, parent information, student course details, and student details, right? So now, if I want to use the select statement in order to get information from one of these tables, you have to understand that select and from, the select statement and the from statement, they are both will be used in the same way, right? Well, all will be used in the same query or in the same code, right? So first of all, if I click on AD student details, right? So this is the structure of the table, all right? We have student ID, we have first name, we have parent ID, student registration year, and we have what? Email address. So these are the attributes of the students, and you can see here is what is the type, which is right here is data type, okay? So here it says student ID is a number, because as we said right here, the student ID is what? Is a number, okay? So this is the data type number. And then the first name, which is a varchar2. So let me talk about data types right here, data types. So in data types, as you can see here, you can represent numbers as a student ID. So here, student ID is the number is either it can be float or it can be a normal number. It will be represented as a number, okay? Then here, the name or even the gender right here. Let's say the gender is, instead of male, we will have only M, okay? We will have only M. So the name right here will take what? Will take varchar2. So whenever you have a string that you want to store as a data, the data type of this field right here is what? Is varchar2. Gender, which is only one letter, right? It's only one letter. So we can use car, for example, okay? So car and varchar2, they are used to either storing a letter or storing a string. CGPA here is another number, okay? But this number right here is what? Is a float, okay? We will understand later on when we try to create our own tables. Whenever we come across a float number, I will tell you how you can represent it with the number data type. So here, let's say if we have date of birth, DOB, which is date of birth. And let's say the date of birth right here is something like 16 July, let's say 2000, right? So this right here is what kind of data type? It's a date data type, okay? So this right here is what? Is a date. So whenever you see something like that, that means it's a date. So these are the data types. This is a number, this is a varchar2, this can be represented as car, this is another number, and this right here is a date, okay? So this actually explains what we have right here. Number, varchar2, number, and then here student registration year, which is what? A date, and then the email address, which is again a varchar2. So this right here, the table right here is what? Is AD student details. So if I want to select or if I want to display information from this table, what should I do? I should do something like this. Select, let's say here we have what? Let's say that I want to display the name and the registration year. You see here, first name and student registration year. So if I do something like this, first name and student registration year from, so here I selected the attribute that I want to display, and here in the from section I want to tell in which table I'm gonna take it from. So here I'm taking it from AD student details. AD student details is where is in the academic database, which is AD. So here we have to access the database first, then we will access the table, which is right here, AD underscore student underscore details. So let me again click here. You have to go to the AD database, which is academic. Then you go to AD underscore student underscore details, which is right here, okay? So after that, you will click run. When you click run, as you can see here, these are the data that are displayed on the screen from the student database or the academic table, right? Which is the first name and the student registration year. So here we have Jack, Rhonda, Robert, Mills, Nina, Nathan, Noah. We have 8 rows selected. That means we have what? 8 students, and these are the registration year, 1st of January 2014, and multiple days right here, okay? So here I showed you how to select from a table, which is right here, only 2 attributes. If I want to select, let's say, all the attributes right here, let's say I want to display all the information and all the attributes, which is very, very simple. Instead of listing all the attributes you have, you can just simply have what? An asterisk, which is right with this asterisk is represented as all. Select all from AD database dot AD student details table. So here in these lines right here will what? Will display all the information related to AD student details. So if I run right here, as you can see, I have all the information, right? From student ID to first name to parent ID to student registration year and mail address. And the mail address right here is what? Is empty. That means it is null. So in the database, whenever you have a field that it's empty, you cannot say that it is 0. It's not 0. It is null, because 0 is a type of information as well. It's a data as well. All right? Okay. So we showed an example here about how to use select and use to display data from the database and from. So I can write here general syntax, okay? General syntax, or the general code that can work every time. When you use the select command, you have to give what? You have to get attribute name, attribute name. Either it was student ID, name, whatever. And if you want to use both attributes, that means you will use a comma to differentiate between the both attributes. All right, here select attribute name and another attribute name from a specific table. So here you have to give the table name. All right, and in our case, what did we do? We gave what? We gave the database name dot table name, which is right here. What happened right here? We have what? In the previous example, this is the previous example. The previous example, we selected what? Another first attribute and another attribute. If I want to select one more attribute, I can directly hit comma and give the name of the other attribute. All right, from the table name, which is AD student details, but here we gave the database name dot the table name, and then we clicked on run and we showed the results. All right, next here we have to give what? Where clause. So in this kind of information that we have, this is all the information we have, right? Let's assume that I want to display students who registered before or let me make it more simpler. Let me say that I want students that their parent ID less than 630. Okay, I don't want all the students. No, I want only the students who their parent ID is less than 630. That means I only need these ones. I only need these 4. Okay, because the rest are from 630 and above, right? So I only need the students who their parent ID is less than 630. So here, what do we have? We have a condition. So the where clause right here, whenever we have a where clause, that means we have a condition. Okay, and how that condition will work? Here, select, for example, the attribute name, and then from the database, from the table name, where, right? This is where the condition comes from. So where here you have what? You have a condition. Okay, and we will have an example about it. A condition, and in these conditions you will use what? You will use arithmetic operators. Greater than, less than, greater than or equal, less than or equal, equal, and not equal. So here, if I want to select, if I want to display the first name, and let's say I want to display the registration year, and also I want to display the parent ID, okay, from the student details. If I run, this is the output that I get, right? I get all the students with their name, with their student registration year, and with the parent ID, right? So if I want to put the condition, okay, if I want to put the condition where their parent ID is less than 630, so I can come here and say where their parent ID, and you have to make sure, guys, you have to make sure that you pay attention to the attribute names. You see here first underscore name, because this is how it is written, okay? This is how it is written in the database, right? So here, go back to the condition where the parent ID should be less than what? Should be less than 630, okay? So here I'm expecting that I don't see these guys anymore, okay? I will get only the students who are, their parent ID is less than 630. So here, if I click run, Now what do I get? When I run it, when I run the code, I get now the students who have only parent ID less than 630. So if I do something like greater than 620 and I run, now what do I have? I have the opposite, right? I have all the students who their student ID is greater than 620. Now if I do something like let's say greater than or equal to 610, see? So I get the 610 because it's greater than or equal, so I get the 610, and then I get 620 and 630 and 40, right? I hope that makes sense, guys. So this right here is a simple explanation about how to use the condition. The question said that I need only to display students who their parent ID is greater than or equal 610. So I can say where the parent ID is greater than or equal 610. It's that simple. So whenever you have a condition, it is that simple. You can just convert it to something logical that you can work with. All right. So here we need to also learn how to order by. So we talked about select. You can just use select and then mention the attributes that you want to display. From, which is here from the database and the table that you want to get the information from. Where, this is where you have a condition. And also when we use the where clause with the condition, we used also arithmetic operators, okay? Next, what we're gonna do, order by, which is what? Order by, it is used to actually organize your display or organize the information that you want to display on the screen. Either it can be in ascending order or descending order. So this A is C called in ascending order. That means from smaller to larger, and then descending order, that means it starts from the larger value and goes down, right? So as you can see, when I run this simple code, I get what? 620, 10, and then 30, then 40. So it's not organized, right? So if I do here, and I want to order it by what? I want to order it by the parent ID. So I can come here and simply say order by parent ID. So that means I want my display to be ordered based on the parent ID, and let's say here in ascending order. By the way, if you leave it empty, it is by default in ascending order. It's by default, it will display from the smallest to the largest. So here, if I did ascending order, as you can see, 10, 20, 30, 40, okay? If I didn't say ASC, or if I didn't say in ascending order and I clicked run, it will give me the same output. Why? Because if I didn't specify the type of order that I want, it will be by default in ascending order, that means ASC. So if I did the other one, which is right here, descending order, and I clicked run, now what do I have? I have in ascending order the parent ID in ascending order. And why I have the display like that? Because I did my display based on what? Based on the parent ID. If I do my display based on the name, so let me change this one right here and say first name and click run, what happens here? It's in ascending or it's in descending order, which is, as you can see, R, N, N, then M, then J, which is from the latest letter to the previous letter. So from Z to A, okay? And if I leave it empty, that means in ascending order, that means from A to Z, right? So I expect to start from J and then finishes at R. Okay, so you have to understand that the attribute that you have to specify in the order by section, this is the attribute that the information will be displayed in order based on the value of this attribute right here. So we have what? We have order by a specific attribute. So you have to give here the attribute name, and then you have to mention if it's ascending or descending. Okay? And basically the information will be displayed in such a manner based on the value of the attribute name. I hope that makes sense, guys. So as you can see, I'm trying to simplify these bullet points as much as possible with giving a very simple example, right? So here we talked about select, we talked about from, we talked about the where clause and how to use the condition, order by, and also we using the arithmetic operation with the where clause. Now we will go to the logical operators, which is and or not. So not right here will be used with the other operators. For example, null, not null, between, not between, in, not in, like, not like. All right. So forget about not for now, because not will be used in combination with the other operators that we're going to talk about later on. But now you need to focus about and or. Okay, and or. You have to focus on that. So and or basically they are used when you have more than one condition, right? They are used when you have more than one condition. What kind of what do you mean by more than one condition? That means here I already gave a condition where I want to see students who their parent ID is greater than 610, right? And let's say so here for the sake of an example, let's say that I want to display students that they have parent ID greater than or equal to 610 and their first name should be equal to, let's say, Nina. Okay, so here we're talking about a name and we're talking about a string. That's why we have the value in between quotes. Okay, that's in every programming language, in everything related to coding. Whenever you are dealing with a string, you have to put it inside quotation. So here, forget about the order by for now. We want to get the first name, the student registration year, the parent ID from the student details table, where the parent ID is greater than or equal to 10, and the first name should be equal to Nina, which is, I have a row right here that actually satisfies both conditions. Okay, satisfies both conditions because her parent ID is greater than 610 and the first name is actually equal to Nina. I hope that makes sense. So now, and right here, this and right here is what? Whenever you have an and operator, that means both conditions must be true in order for this to work. So that means when I run, I will get the only row that satisfies both conditions, because the parent ID should satisfy the condition and the first name should satisfy the condition. This is where you use and operator. So the usage right here of and operator, that both of your conditions must be true. When I use or and then I click run, what should I get? I get more than one row. Why? Because in the or situation, one of these guys should be true. If one of these guys is true, that is fine. So here, let's say Rhonda, right? The first name is not Nina, right? It's Rhonda. But the parent ID is greater than 610. So this side is true. As long as one of the sides is true, it will be displayed on the screen. I hope that makes sense. All right. And Nina right here, even if the parent ID is wrong, the first name will be right. Okay. So in AND, both of them should be correct. And in OR, only one of them should be correct in order for the data to be retrieved. Okay, I hope that makes sense. We talked about AND and OR, that's very simple. Now we're gonna talk about the other operators. Okay, now we're gonna talk about the other operators. Is null and is not null, what does it mean? Whenever the attribute is empty or not empty. Let me try to find another human resource. Okay, let's say employees table. Okay, so let's use employees table. So let's say here, select all from we are using what? Employees, right? Which is hr.employees. HR is the database dot employees. And here we are trying to select all the information. Okay. So as you can see here, we have a lot of employees right here. We have like 50 rows. Okay. And what kind of information are that? Employee ID, first name, last name, email, phone number, hire date, job ID, we have salary, we have commission. Yeah, some of the employees have commission and other employees, they don't have commission. Also, we have an employees who doesn't have manager ID. So this is empty. All right. So this is gonna be a perfect table to actually talk about null and in not null, between and in and like. All right, I just drank a bit of water. All right, so null and not null is basically, is it empty and is it not empty? Let's say, first of all, let me check here. Oh my God, it's already 33 minutes. And as I told you guys, this is just an absolute beginner video. It's not actually very in depth. So here is null and is not null. How can we do this? As you can see here, there are some employees that doesn't have any commission, and there are employees back here which they have commission. So in some employees the commission is null, and in other employees the commission is not null. So what I want to do here, I want to display, let's say, the first name, which is right here, and I want to display, for example, the salary from the employees, okay, from the employees table, whenever the commission PCT, or here, the commission PCT is empty. Okay, so let's say here, where the commission PCT is null. Okay, so we have a condition here. As you can see here, there are operators, right? Null, not null, between, and, in, and like. These are operators. And as you can see, the arithmetic operator, the logical operator, and other operators, they are all used where? They are all used in the where clause, where you have a condition. Okay? So I want to display the name and the salary of all the employees where the commission is empty. So if I run, I think I made a mistake here, so let me have a double M here. Yep. So here I'm displaying, let me also display the commission to show on the screen that the commission is actually empty. So here I want to display the name, the salary, and the commission from the employees whenever the commission is empty. And as you can see, all the employees that are mentioned here, they have the commission what? Empty. Okay. So with the other operators, this is the usage of not will come in play, because we talked about now here is null, and then we're gonna talk about is not null, and this is where the not operator come in play. So if I change this to is not null, that means I'm gonna display the name, the salary, and the commission PCT from the employees table where the commission is not empty. That means where the employee is actually taking commissions. So if I run right here, I have only these, I have these employees, okay, who they have commissions, which are different than the other list. The other list, they don't take commissions. This list, all of the employees here, they are taking commissions. And let's say we're gonna order everything by salary and keep it in ascending order, which is keep it empty. So here you can see the salaries started from 6,100 go until 14,000, and the commission varies between 10%, 15%, 25%, 30%, 35%, and then 40%. Okay, 0.4 means what? 40%. Okay. All right. So back here we have between and. This is good to use with salaries, right? So let me not put any condition here. Let me have all the employees, and let's actually, yeah, why not? We can have all that here. Let me also delete the commission PCT, run. So we have only what? First name and salary. Okay, and it is actually ordered in ascending order based on the salary. So between and is basically, this is where you talking about a range. Let's say between 1 to 10. Let's say between 250 to 2000. Okay, so you're talking about a range between this guy and the other guy, right? So here, talking about salaries, let's say that I want to display only the employees who have salaries between 3,000 and 6,000. So I can simply come here and say where the salary is between 3,000 and 6,000, right? So when you run, as you can see, 3,000, 3,100, 200, goes until 6,000. So these are all the employees that will satisfy this condition right here. What if I said not? As you can see, this not right here can come in play in any operator right here. So if I say where the salary is not between 3,000 and 6,000 and I click run, so here you can see right here 2001, 2, 3, 4. Then directly from 2,900 to 6,100, because I need everything that is not between 3,000 and 6,000 with the 3,000 and 6,000 included. So as you can see that the salaries from 2,900 jumped off to what? To 6,100. okay, and going on. All right, I hope that made sense. In right here is basically, instead of having a range, it is dealing with specific, I'm not sure if I spelled it right, specific values, okay, specific values. So if I say I want the salary, I want to display the first name and salary of employees who are taking salaries in these values. Let's say 2,500 and 3,500 and 4,500 and 6,000. So I want to display only the employees who takes exactly 2,500, exactly 3,500, exactly 4,500, and exactly 6,000. So if I run, as you can see, there is nobody taking 4,500, so I cannot see it here. But there are employees who take in 2,500, 3,500, and 6,000, as you can see right here. Multiple, they take 2,500. We have one takes 3,500, and we have two that takes what? 6,000. If I say not in, that means not in these values. Any other values except these values. That's very simple. If I run, you can see here, 2,600 goes to 2,700. So 2,500 is not there. Also, going from 2,400 to 2,600. So this is not here. Okay. 2,500 is not here. 6,000 is not here. Okay. So that's how you use basically the other operators, and also how to use not with them. Now we will talk about like. Okay, like, it is used with strings or words or letters. Okay, so the like operators is basically are trying to check if there is something related to the word or the sentences and something like that. There is something wrong going on. And in order to check these words or these letters, you can use the wildcards right here, which is the percentage symbol and also the underscore symbol. And I will tell you how I'm going to use them. So basically our condition right here will be based on what will be based on the first name, because this is the attribute where the values are what? Strings. Let's say that I want to display employees whose their first name starts with S. Okay, let's say let me make it as a comment right here. So double dash right here is a comment. Display the first name and salary of all employees whose first name starts with S, start with the letter S. So here I can use the like. So where the first name, I'm checking the first name, where the first name like, right? And then you have to have quotations to specify the criteria that you are checking for. You need what? You need S to be at the beginning of the string. So S is here, okay? S at the beginning of the string. Do you care about any other letters? No, we don't care. And this is where we can use what? The percentage. So here, if I use the percentage, what does that supposed to mean? It means that give me the name, display the salary from employees where the first name starts with S, and we don't care about the other letters. We don't care about the other letters. So if I run, they are all starts with S. Okay? These are all employees starts with S with their salaries, and the display is ordered by the salary in ascending order. If you want to do the opposite, where the first name ends with S, so basically you do the opposite. Ampersand sign, because you don't care how the name starts. The thing is, it has to end with S. Okay, it has to end with S. If I run, James, Douglas, Curtis, Alexis. Okay, so this right here, how to use the ampersand sign. Using the ampersand sign, that means you don't care what came before the specific letter or after a specific letter. Okay, now going to the other wild card, which is what? The dash. Okay, let's say you want to display the first name and salary of all employees whose first name contains M as the third letter. So here, read the question again. Display the first name and salary of all employees whose first name contains M as the third letter. So here my criteria is, I don't want the M to be at the beginning or the end. I have a specific condition that's saying that M should be in the name as a third condition, as a third letter, which is, for example, James, right? First is J, second is A, then the third is M, like James, right? How can I represent, because I already understood about how to make the string starts with a letter or ends with a letter. Okay, this is where your underscore comes in play, right? The M, okay, you want an M to be in the string, right? The M should be third. So the first character will be represented as an underscore. The second character will be also represented as an underscore, because we don't know them, okay? And we don't care, all right? But you cannot use here the ampersand, because the ampersand sign or the modulus sign, that means you don't care about how many characters, you don't care about the characters, what are the characters, but also you don't care about how many characters. But here we need to understand that we need only 2 characters. We don't care about them, it can be any letters, but we only need 2. So here you specify 2. So M now is in the third condition, or in the third position. Then you don't care about any other else, because our question here that only we need M to be as the third letter, which is right here after the both 2 characters, right? Which we don't care however they are. Then we have the M in the third character. Then we don't care about how many characters that come after the M, or what are they anyways, right? So now if I run James, Timothy, Samuel, Kimberly, Ismail, right? So all the employees we have with an M in the third position of their first name. So now guys, you have to understand very well that this is only basic stuff related to a database. Select, you have to understand that we use select statement. We selected specific attributes from specific tables, and also with mentioning the database where that tables is. By the way, this applies only for this website, because we have different databases, and in every database we have different tables. So you have to mention the database dot the name of the table, where, which is also, we said that it's used as a condition, and we saw multiple examples about how to use arithmetic operations, how to use logical operators, which is and or. and how to use also the not operator with other operators like null, between and, in, and like. And we also explained how to use like with wildcards like modulus sign and the underscore. And also we showed how to use order by when you order by a specific attributes based on its specific value. And also we saw how to you can order them in ascending order or in descending order. All right, so this is it for now for the first video. I hope that you guys enjoyed. If you found this video useful, please give us a like, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and also wait for the other videos with this series. And also let me know in the comments if you need me to explain anything else related to SQL in the future. And also if you have any questions in case there are some stuff that are not clear in this class or in this video. All right, and I will see you next time. Have a nice day.